An editorial in the Los Angeles Times said, in addition to his uncontrolled verbosity, Biden is a gaffe machine. Can you reassure your voters in this country that you would have the discipline you would need on the world stage, Senator?
Yes.
Mr. Vice President, your opponent in this election, President Trump, has made your mental state a campaign topic. And when asked in June if you'd been tested for cognitive decline, you've responded that you're constantly tested in effect because you're in situations like this on the campaign trail. But please clarify specifically, have you taken a cognitive test?
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man.
You know, the rapidly rising I don't know.
If elected, you would turn 82 at the end of your first term. You'd be the oldest president in American history.
Are you willing? Churchill.
Are you willing to commit American history?
American.
Yes.
You know, there's a during World War II, where Roosevelt came up with a thing that was totally different than he called it the.
Because we cannot get reelected. We cannot win this reelection. Excuse me. We can only reelect Donald Trump. I'm part of that Obama coalition. I come out of the black community in terms of my support. If you notice, I have more people supporting me in the black community that have announced for me because they know me. They know who I am. 3 former chairs of the Black Caucus, the only African-American woman that ever been elected to the United States Senate, a whole range of people.
No,
my point is,
that's not true. The other one is here.
I said the first. I said the first African-American elected. The first African-American. So my point is, I've been here a number of times. Last time was, I think, all the way back in 2014. But I've been here before that. I love this place. Look, what's not to like about Vermont in terms of the beauty of it? And what a neat town. By the way, this is my little sister, Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh, no, this is oh, you switched on me. This is my wife. This is my sister. They switched on me. Electric vehicles, in fact, the biggest problem is you can't stop to charge. We should have charging stations along every interstate highway in the country. You pay for it just like you did gasoline. But if you can do that with bicycles in town, and you can put a nickel, that saves billions of gallons of gasoline. I mean, billions of I think it's $2.3 billion worth of, $500 billion in savings and 2-point-something billion metric tons of CO2 going in the air. To make sure that we have no one going to jail for a drug offense. They go directly mandatory prison. Bring social workers into homes of parents to help them deal with how to raise their children. It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio, make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone, make sure the kids hear words. A kid coming from a very poor school, a very poor background, will hear 4 million words fewer spoken. 4 more years of Donald Trump will go down as an aberration. Hard to overcome the damage he's done, but we can overcome it. 8 more years of Donald Trump will change America in a fundamental way. The America we know will no longer exist. Everybody knows who Donald Trump is. I'm prepared to say that I have a record of over 40 years and that I'm going to beat Joe Biden. Excuse me, we can only reelect Donald Trump.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. Mr. President, wake up. This is my wife. This is my sister. They switched on me.
You may only get one shot, and your first issue that you're going to push, you get one shot that it may be the only thing you get passed. What is that first issue?
The first thing I would do is make sure that we defeat Donald Trump. In my household, you could never, ever, 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 ever say, when you get in a fight with somebody, you could never say anything about them that was true. You couldn't say if they were 300 pounds, you couldn't say you're fat. And you want to check my shape on, let's do push-ups together here, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do. Look, fat, look, here's the deal. We cannot win this re-election. Excuse me, we can only re-elect Donald Trump. 150 million people have been killed since 2007 when Bernie voted to exempt the gun manufacturers from liability. More than all the wars, including Vietnam, from that point on. Carnage.
I actually said the other night, I was watching him when he said about half the population wiped out with guns. I said, that's a horrible thing. That's the end of his evening. That's the end of his political career. And then after the debate, they're reviewing him. They said, Joe Biden had a great night last night.
So how do you explain the performance in Iowa, and why should the voters believe that you can win the national election?
It's a good question. Number one, Iowa's a Democratic caucus. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but now you got to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. They can't even figure out how to deal with the fact that they have this great division between the China Sea and the mountains in the west.
Every American wearing a mask outdoors is going to get our businesses back and to full strength long term. I do believe we're all God's children for real. I'm not going to fan the flames of hate. I'm going to speak to heal racial differences. The vast majority of the people are decent. We have to appeal to that, and we have to unite people, bring them together. There are probably anywhere from 10 to 15% of the people out there that are just not very good people. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. And by the way, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Vice President Biden, the Me Too movement has forced a cultural reckoning around the issue of sexual violence and harassment against women in America. Are there specific actions that you would take early in your administration to address this problem?
The fact is that what happens now is that we, in fact, have to fundamentally change the culture of how women are treated. No man has a right to raise a hand to a woman in anger other than in self-defense, and that's rarely ever occurs. And so we have to just change the culture, period, and keep punching at it and punching at it and punching at it. It will be a big, no, I really mean it. It's a gigantic issue, and we have to make it clear.
Specifically, have you taken a cognitive test?
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say?